Alright, welcome guys to my Friday the 13th playthrough with live commentary here. This is Lord Kayoss, and I'm actually doing this in response to a request I got from one of my loyal subscribers. These are fairly easy to do, so it doesn't take too much effort on my part to hammer one of these out. And I'm also playing through one of my favorite games from back in the day, Friday the 13th, which is another game by LJN. LJN gets a lot of crap, and in my mind, unnecessarily so. They really get a raw deal from a lot of the fans. Some of these games that they come out with, I mean, yeah, they're a little hard to figure out, especially if you're a kid. Friday the 13th was one of them, but I'm going to show you how to get through this game really easy. First thing you want to do, obviously, is pick a camp counselor who is fast, which is not this guy. Mark is the fastest counselor in the game. The other two chicks, Laura and Chrissy, they're pretty fast too, but Mark actually walks faster than everybody. And it's use the torch to light the fireplaces is incorrect. I'll talk about that here in just a second. What we want to focus on right now, this house right here in this particular area of the map is extremely important because this house contains the message that gets the quest started, if you will. To locating the torch, which is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. And you can obtain it pretty quickly if you follow the messages. And I'm just killing a few zombies here so I can get a lighter. Go in here and light the fireplace. You don't need the lighter for the message to appear, but figure what the hey. While you're in here, you might as well light the fireplace. And speaking about what the game was talking about earlier, using the torch to light the fireplace is incorrect. I guess developers just screwed that up. Should have been the lighter. The torch is a weapon that you can use against Jason, and here's the first message telling us about it. You hit select, by the way, to get that pink purpley icon to pop up in that sub menu there. Go into one of the cabins by the lake. It doesn't reference the torch directly, but that is the weapon that it's referring to. I can tell you from experience. I'm sure you'll read about this online and wherever else that you get your gaming information. But before we do, we might as well stop here, kill a few more zombies along the way, because this will lead to items popping up like the dagger, which I missed earlier. As soon as I was about to go into that cabin, it popped up. The key will pop up. You'll get some vials of red vitamins, which actually come in really handy as you're working your way through the game. Jason alarm sounds, but we got a little bit of time that we can kill. No pun intended. And lighting the fireplace, working our way through these big cabins. Pretty much got this down to a fine art. Okay. And let's go into one of these smaller cabins. And let's figure out who he's after. It's going to be Debbie. So we got two choices at this point. Since we're right over in this area, we can have Mark run around and bail out Debbie. Or, since you're in one of these smaller cabins, you can actually switch to Debbie and go straight to where the business is. And if you hit down on the D-pad, you will run straight to the door in the cabin. And here you have a choice. You can either continue to look for Jason in the cabin. You can fight him inside here, kind of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out style, where you can duck and dodge some of his attacks, get a few shots off, and drive him away. Or, if you're kind of like me and you want to save some time, you can jump right outside and just pump him full of these rocks, which isn't going to really do anything to him, but it'll get him out of your hair long enough where you don't have to stand and do the slower battle on the inside. And we hit the door. We've got one more cabin, fireplace to light in this area, and I wouldn't be surprised if we run into Jason since he is just a cabin over. Excuse me. Alright, we got that one. And since we're in the area of the cave, I'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit. For those of you that don't know, the cave is where Jason's mother's head is. If you've seen the movies, Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason keeps his mother's head in a secret room. Actually, it's in the woods in the movie. His shack that he supposedly built for himself. In the game, it's located in the cave. You need a key to get in there, and there's 3 days to this game, and they're kind of divided up into Jason's lives. Once you take Jason's energy bar all the way down, you sort of kill him, and the game lets you know that he's not dead, and then it progresses on to the second day and then the third day after you kill him the second time. Finally, we get that dagger. And I'm not going to have Mark bother with saving the kids. We're going to give somebody else that honor. Hopefully somebody fast is near the lake. Chrissy. Looks like she's going to get the duty. And the reason I don't want to take Mark out there, for one, I've kind of got him on a mission of getting the torch, and I don't want him in the lake taking unnecessary damage from Jason and these stupid crows and zombies that are always harassing you. In the cabin, you've got the kids. There's 5 children in each cabin, 15 total, and obviously you have to protect them. If Jason kills them all, the game is over. And never really quite understood the angle there, having Jason go after the kids and kill them, especially back in the 80s when, you know, video games and movies were under extreme censorship, especially in the late 80s, and this game came out in 88. To suggest that Jason's going to kill the kids, that just seems, I don't know, a little too over the top, a little too extreme for that time period, especially seeing how kids, you know, were going to play this game. This was back before the ESRB rating system, and it was basically up to parents to decide if they want the kid playing the game or not. But Jason was never actually portrayed as a child killer in the movies. The only time that he ever really goes after the kids is in part 6, where he blasts through the door and scares them all to the other side of the room. And that was basically just set up as a scene which builds the tension, you know, as the movie's headed toward its climax. I don't think that they were honestly suggesting Jason was going to kill the kids, as earlier in that movie he leans down and kind of studies one of them and just, you know, exits the room, no problem. And then, if you want to get technical and talk about Friday the 13th Part 4, you've got Corey Feldman playing Tommy Jarvis. At the end of the movie, he dresses up like Jason, kind of like a mirror image of Jason as a child after he's drowned, to play head games with him. Jason approaches him with his hand out. Some people can make the argument maybe he was going to choke him or something like that. I personally think Jason just wanted to interact with him because Corey did exactly what he was trying to do, and that's get in his head and mess with him. Okay, back on topic. This cabin has another message. We're going to hit select and take it, and it blatantly says you can find a torch in one of the cabins by the lake. And I'll go back to the map here and mark this cabin. This is cabin number 2. If you can see the flashing icon over here, and actually it looks like Jason's hot on my trail here. This will be the second cabin that you'll find a message in that's pertaining to the torch. And now that we have it, we can press on. I'm actually going to get up in the lake here, go to one of these smaller cabins, and then figure out who Jason is stalking at this moment. And looks like Debbie again. Jason's taking a liking to her. Gonna take her outside, and she's gonna get hit one good time, drive him away. We're done there. Back to Mark, and we're actually right next to the cabin that's got the torch in it. Gonna show you guys that here in just a second. And I'm trying not to be too careless, but I like to jump over a lot of these zombies, but I don't want to get him hit too many times. We need him to have some energy left for our encounters with Jason, because since he's going to be the torch bearer, and since he moves the quickest, he's kind of my dragon slayer in this game, if you will. And we have the torch. Gonna go ahead and take that, and we have one of the 2 most powerful weapons in the game already. And what are we, about 5 minutes in, something like that. So it's a pretty good deal. If you get in too much of a hurry and you start jumping over to zombies, though, be careful, because the game will throw up lesser caliber weapons like the dagger or the machete or whatever, and if you accidentally get one of them, the torch is gone and you have to go through this process over again. Going to the cabin near the cave, probably pertaining to the message that tells you there's a machete in the cave, which is what Jason's mother is guarding. And now that we've lit all the fireplaces, we have our reward, which is the flashlight, which kind of lights the way inside the cave. Again, really not needed, but I guess it's cool to get it anyway, just to fill up that box down there. Shows you're not a slacker, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And honestly, right now, we can just kind of hang out, wait for Jason to strike. He's either going to show up and try to surprise me or go after the kids or one of the counselors. And if you really wanted to get proactive here, I mean, I suppose what you could do, you could go pass this torch to somebody and, you know, maybe do the process over again. I don't know if it works with the same counselor, but I do know that 2 different counselors can have the torch at the same time. So, yeah, see right there, the game tries to trick you. It's like by instinct, you almost want to jump up and grab that, but no, no, no. Okay, and here we go. For those of you that aren't familiar, I'm going to show you just how powerful this torch is. I mean, you already kind of get a clue when I'm hitting the zombies. And if you go ahead and start throwing it out in the lake here, if Jason passes by and tries to attack you, if I would have stood around in the water long enough, he would have hit the torch and taken damage. Not that it's really worth it, because the damage that he does to you is not necessarily a fair trade. But if you're stuck in the water toward the beginning and he happens to hit you, then you know, it's good to get a little collateral damage on him. And anytime you drive Jason away with one counselor inside a cabin, the next time you see him, he'll be wielding a machete. If you drive him away successfully in a cabin with the same counselor, next time you see him, he'll be wielding an axe. So we'll have an axe waiting on us the next time he shows up. And you see the torch there, how it was pretty much taking it to him. Jason doesn't like too much of that. And let's see if we can run into him out here on the platform, I guess, if you will. This is honestly where I prefer to fight him, just because it's so much quicker. You don't have to duck and dodge so much, because he's gonna hit you regardless, and you can hit him a lot faster. And I'm not really being too careful here, trying to speed through this. There's the key. You need that to get into the room where Jason's mother is, in the cave. And in the meantime, we will run out here and save George McFly. When I was a kid, I always thought that axe looked more like a toothbrush. Never really figured out why he was coming after me with that when I was 8 years old. But eventually it clicked. And we'll go outside and hopefully we'll run into him out here. Because again, you can do a lot of extra damage. Get close to the side of the screen and just spam the hell out of him. And when he runs, try to track him down. Screen should stop again, and we'll do the same thing. And this should take care of him for the first day. Yeah, we know. Just like in the movies, right? This ends day 1, and day 2 begins. And since Mark has the key, well, actually, I tell you what, he's got the torch. If you want, you can actually start this torch process over again. I guess it kind of comes in handy, because while you're playing through, collecting weapons and whatnot, the key will eventually appear, like it did for me a minute ago with Mark. And if you are going to go after the sweater from Jason's mother on day 2, it's best to do so with a female. A male can wear it, but it doesn't seem to be nearly as effective, and rightfully so, because if you're going to mirror the scene from Friday the 13th Part 2, where a chick is wearing a sweater and trying to confuse Jason and make him believe that she's his mother, you would probably want it to be a chick in the game. Doesn't make a lot of sense to have a guy put it on. So basically, we are going to work our way back to this one cabin, this one big cabin, that we start the process of looking for the torch. And like I said before, you can have 2 counselors that have the torch at the same time. It's not a problem. It actually helps a lot if you're trying to fight Jason on the side-scrolling stage out here. And we'll basically just run through this again right quick. We may not have to go through and light everything. We basically just want to get these messages here. So go into one of the cabins by the lake. Thank you very much. And again, not worried so much about the fireplaces right now, because I've taken you through that. You've seen what happens when you get a all of them lit. Flashlight appears. It does kind of light the way just a tad bit in the cave. It shows you the backdrop in the cave where the secret little tunnel is, I guess, that leads you to Jason's mother's place. But in this case, we're not really going to worry about it. If I get the key here while I'm running around with Chrissy, I'll show it to you. We'll run in, hopefully by the time we get the torch, and then we can fight Jason's mother that way and go ahead and take her out. Because on the second day, not only is Jason stronger, his mother is too, and she takes a little bit of firepower to take down. And it's really bad on the third day. Huh, interesting. The message is not here. I wonder if that's because we said screw it on lighting the fireplaces. So we'll actually run over here to the lake and see if we can get him to stop harassing the kids for a few minutes. And that's just crap that dagger sails right over his head like that. But no matter. We got other things to worry about right now. And we actually made it over here in time before he killed one of them. And you'll notice in the cabin battles, Jason's a little bit faster. And then occasionally like this, it looks like he has a 5-hour energy shot. And just goes into turbo mode and starts mauling you. Or trying to, anyway. Not sure how many daggers we hit him with there, but we only took 1 energy bar from him. So that's why I say it's essential. Do the task of getting the torch. On the third day, try to get the pitchfork if you can. Really comes in handy. But that battle with Jason's mother, it's something else, let me tell you. That third day, since we got Mark here, why don't we just change it up. And we can go ahead and start putting a hurting on him here. Jason's got his Rockstar energy drink. And let's run outside and see if he's waiting on us out here. That would be nice. Yeah, guess he went the other way. Yep, no worries. Alright, so it's starting to get night again. Always accidentally run into the woods. Tell you about the woods right quick. Jason's shanty that we talked about, like in the movie Friday the 13th Part 2, where he has his mother's head, is located in the woods. If you have the key, you can get in there. But again, it's not really necessary. There's a machete in there, I think one day, another day, maybe you can find an axe. I mean, I guess if your counselors are dropping off like flies and that's all you've got, you know, it would be helpful to you to go get stuff like that, but not necessary in the situation we're in right now. I don't think I lit this fireplace earlier. So, learned something new myself here. I think the reason that that second message was not in that cabin was because we were not bothering to light these fireplaces along the way. Did not know it was predicated on that, but it doesn't surprise me. See if we can get these 2 big cabins taken care of before we go investigate the Jason alarm. And again, while we have a little downtime here, you know, my apologies if I'm rambling a little too much. You know, not doing a script here, not doing pre-recorded voiceover. This is all live commentary as we're playing. Those of you, ooh, definitely need that. Those of you who enjoy listening to stuff like this, I hope this is entertaining for you. Me, I gotta say, I do feel a little awkward, but not uncomfortable per se. Alright, let's see what's going on here. And we'll just take Mark right around the way here and harass him with the torch. more damage we can do to him, the better. And we definitely need some of those. They will come in handy on the third day. Third day, Jason's pretty much a raging animal. I talked about that a lot in the original review I did on this game years ago. Third day is the worst Jason to have to deal with. But more than that, I do believe the boss fight with his mother on the third day is harder than he ever is. That's why I say it's kind of smart to try to avoid it if you can. You don't have to have the pitchfork to beat the game, but I do have to admit it's a pretty cool weapon. It's not like the torch, where the torch is, you know, kind of like the rocks where they arc over. You can throw the pitchfork pretty much like the dagger. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I'm glad we saw that. Once in a great while, you'll find that Jason has retreated into one of these big cabins. It doesn't happen too often, but it is pretty cool when you find him, especially if you're ready for him with the good weapon. Be cool if we could get him before he goes into cocaine overdrive here. That'll work. And let's see if we can meet him outside. Yep, and we actually may end it right here for the second day. Yep. Alright, not too shabby. Oh, noes. And just like in the movies, the last second when you think he's dead, he rises up. Need some Friday the 13th music here. There we go. Alright, let's go to day 3. And apologies, I didn't get to show you getting Jason's mother's sweater, but I can show you getting the pitchfork as long as I can find an axe. I need to actually give this torch to somebody else while I have Mark look for a stronger weapon, because trust me, you don't want to fight her using some rocks. I'd rather not give it to George. Where are the chicks at? Okay, well, she's not too far from here. Well, you know what? Screw it. Anybody else can get the torch anytime. Not really going to be hurting myself giving it up. Actually, like I said, the pitchfork doesn't do the arc. So, yeah. Going to abort that mission. Let's just go ahead and go get it so I can show it to you. And this is Jason's mother's place. Let me back up here right quick. You see the backdrop is lit up because we have the flashlight. If we didn't have the flashlight, all you would want to do, if you notice these stones running along the wall here, you've got these two right here that are disfigured. Whether you have the flashlight or you don't, just hit up and you'll navigate them all the same. And just walk left here until you get to the second set, hit up, and now you're at the door. Now that we have the key, we can go in. And here she is, and she is not happy. And she does double and triple swoops, where she only did 1 on the first day and up to 2 on the second day, so she's a lot harder to avoid. Really, honestly, if you've got the vitamins, wouldn't be a bad idea to just stand here and spam her if you have a weapon as powerful as the torch. But I don't know, I guess my gamer survival instincts are kicked in, and I don't really want to get hit if I don't have to. Alright, well, that wasn't too bad with the torch. And let me give you a look at the pitchfork here. See if we got anything else hanging around here. Well, there's an axe. Of course, I'd give it to you when you don't need it. Okay, here's the pitchfork. Slices right through your enemies, no problem. And don't really want to go after Jason just yet. That's quite a haul all the way over there. Let's see, anybody else on the lake? Yeah.
Where's Paul?
See what I mean about these slow guys? Oh man, this is horrible. I mean, you can't even outrun the zombies on the third day. And I remember reading in the instruction manual years ago, the zombies are actually supposed to be Jason's past victims coming back from the grave. And I know Jason, yeah, this is Jason on the third day, all jacked up and ready to destroy you. And I know Jason is, you know, quite the prolific serial killer. That's why we respect him so much. But by 1988, I don't think his body count was that high to justify the number of zombies coming up out of the ground. And it's pretty difficult to get a hit in on him here. I mean, you really have to time this just right. Actually moving over to this side of the screen is not a bad idea. There we go. And once you kind of get a rhythm down here, you can start catching him. Just want to make sure he doesn't hit you too many times. I mean, again, I kind of look at the slower characters as expendable. They're kind of throwaway characters, but I mean, you want to save them if you can. You don't just want to throw them to the wolves just to get rid of them, because you never know when one of your characters that has one of the really big weapons is gonna get picked off, you know. I mean, this is a pretty easy pattern to follow, but if it takes you a while, if you have trouble hitting Jason, I mean, you know, I don't know, my mind can start playing tricks on me and start leading me to getting hit. And on the third day, it doesn't take a lot to kill you. It doesn't take a lot to kill you any other time, but third day, it's really bad. Alright, finally. Alright. We'll go stash him someplace. And let's get you in one of these cabins here, because I'm really sick of using you already. Should have went the other way. But no worries. Let's keep moving. And let's get Mark back. And if you have a bunch of vials of that medicine, I've got one. I believe you can have up to 4. That would really be preferable. I hope we get a couple that will pop up here. Because when you run into Jason on the side-scrolling part of the game, you know, you definitely take some damage. And when his energy bar is almost all the way filled like it is right now, I don't think I've got enough in the tank with Mark here to be able to finish him off. Okay, as a matter of fact, we're just going to go outside here and see if we can get rid of him this way. Alright. Switch back to Mark, and we'll head back in the opposite direction. Maybe we'll run into him. Which is funny, after I just said I don't think Mark's going to be able to handle it on his own, but we'll take the chance. We've got 1 bottle of medicine. We'll see what happens. It doesn't help that I'm just walking right into crap. Ooh, careful. Well, that almost happened. Yeah. Got in too much of a hurry here. He's really taking some damage. Matter of fact, may actually track down Chrissy or Laura and just patch the pitchfork to them, since Mark's kind of got some battle wounds here. Like I said, the fight with Jason's mother, it's not pleasant, especially on the third day. Alright, let's see if we can just get outside here. And just put her away, and we'll take Laura to where Mark is. She's pretty close, and we'll do a weapon swap, and we'll see what we can do there. As long as we make it there before Jason does. Alright, if you hit select and do the pass, you can switch weapons. And now Laura is armed for bear. She's ready to rock and roll. And hello, just who we were waiting on. Let's see if we can catch him. Probably going after the kids. That's one thing about the game. Yep, sure is. The direction that Jason runs off the screen, the final destination of where he's headed is not linear to the with the direction that he's traveling, because it easily looked like he was, you know, heading this way on the map, when in reality he popped up to where the kids are. So let's go see if we can take him out. I don't know why I throw these weapons, I guess just to hit a few zombies along the way. I don't think that pitchfork would really touch Jason. Okay. Rockstar Jason armed with a machete. Doesn't get much better than that, folks. And the only thing that's aggravating about fighting him inside the cabins on the third day is just how annoying it gets. How much crap you got to go through just to get one shot off of him. One shot on him, rather, without your counselor taking too much damage. Been fortunate enough not to ever get hit yet, although I probably just jinxed myself. Only all those days of playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out really helps you out here. When Jason's power gets down so much, he will stop disappearing in the cabins. When it gets down to a certain extent, you'll have to fight him to the finish until one of you drops. In this case, we didn't have him quite down far enough, but that's okay. He's getting close. Matter of fact, if we run into him in the side-scrolling fight, we'll probably go ahead and finish him off. But of course, he doesn't want to make it that easy. I don't know why I'm even bothering. I guess I'm scared that if I jump, I'm going to accidentally grab one of the weapons that I don't want that pops up on the screen randomly. Definitely don't want to trade the pitchfork in for the dagger. I could do without. Alright, now, talking about strategizing, this is a good opportunity to go ahead and pass the weapon and change the counselor up here. Now, Debbie has the pitchfork. She's at full health. She's ready to go. And we may be able to finish him off right here. As long as I don't get too cocky on him. I swear it still looks like Jason's got a giant Oral-B trying to whack me over the head with it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays with us to the end on this one. He's getting pretty close. But while we're waiting for his energy to go down, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't really see why LJN gets all the crap that they do. I mean, I know you've got videos like Angry Video Game Nerd, and then some of the spin-offs out there that love to rip on LJN for the comedic value of it. And I guess, again, you know, if you're a kid and you're trying to figure these games out, yeah, it can be quite a challenge. But now at my age now, this is one of my favorite games to just pop in and play, like I was talking about on the Karate Kid video. If I'm stressed and I just need a distraction, just kind of wind down, don't really want to think too much, I just want to put a game in and play. And this is one of the ones that I'll just pop in and run with. I'm a huge horror fan, huge Friday the 13th fan, so makes perfect sense. Jason, it's been fun, but I gotta take you out, bro. One more shot's gonna do you in. Bam. And this is gonna be the end of the game, as LJN did with at the end of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a whole nother conversation for a different day. They hint at the fact that it might not really be over, but if it took you forever to figure out how to beat this game, when you finally beat it, you might just want to sit and stare at this screen for about a half an hour. As long as you don't press start or turn it off, he's not coming back. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too boring or too stupid. Again, I was just kind of rambling and saying whatever came to mind as I was playing through here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would like me to do any other games, just let me know. I've got a couple other LJN games. I've got Jaws, I've got Nightmare on Elm Street, and really today's world with the power of emulators, I can get my hands on whatever we need. So if you want to see other vids, let me know. I can do more of these walkthroughs if desired. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day, and we'll holler at you soon. See ya. And we should find the torch right here. Good deal. We now have one of the two most powerful weapons in the game, and what are we, about 5 minutes in? Not even that. That's pretty nifty. The only thing you gotta be careful of is that right there. If you're in a hurry... Wow. That's dirty. Why does this shit always happen when I'm doing these walkthroughs? Okay, well, now that the guy with the torch is gone, let's switch over to Chrissy here. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking start over. God damn. Gotta get something to drink. Shut up. Shit!